There we go. A Warrior's Journey, The Unbroken Spear, the story of Xin Zhao. A lot of people don't know the story of Xin Zhao. A lot of people don't know how he got to Ionia and why it's such a big deal. It's a huge deal, especially for the story as we're telling it now, right? With LeBlanc and the Yunara's temple being pulled in with the Darken. So I'll explain all of that. There he is. Xin Zhao's earliest memories are of a peaceful life aboard a Visora, an Ionian fishing boat. This tranquility was shattered when Noxian privateers captured the vessel, claiming its crew as property for the Empire. Torn from his home, the young Xin Zhao found himself in the imposing stone-clad capital of Noxus. His skill with a spear was quickly noticed, and he was forced into the reckoning arenas. Taking the name Visaro, so he was he was a life aboard a ship that was the Visaro, an Ionian fishing ship. He took the name Visaro in Noxus. In memory of his lost home, Xin Zhao became a phenomenon. For years, he was celebrated as a champion, adored by the crowds and feared by his opponents. You can see him standing over a Minotaur here. Minotaur are all from this area in Noxus, the Great Barrier. They kind of live around here. Noxians basically forced the Minotaurs to join Noxus. It's a pretty close area. They kind of wanted it. And so any Minotaurs that kind of stood up against Noxus, like Alistar, were just forced into the reckoning arenas as for sport. And this Minotaur did not make it. Xin Zhao took him out. He chose to reclaim his birth name only when he believed his death was imminent. Once I became a reckoner, there was no more Xin Zhao. There was only Visaro. In the time I have left, I'd rather live by my real name.
When they speak of Visaro,
sorry. I'm saying Visaro.
Undefeated.
Don't show the rest of that just yet. When he speaks of the king's chosen protector, of what makes a true Demacia, they speak of you. That's an important line in there. The king's mercy. The life of forced glory ended when the Noxian Empire, facing rebellion on its frontiers, conscripted reckoners into its war host. Bought out by the military, Xin Zhao was sent west to the coastal fortress of Kalstedt to fight the elite forces of King Jarvan III of Demacia. So we're like over here. So Xin Zhao's fighting in the Noxus in the Reckoner's arena. They're fighting with Demacia at this point. Noxus and Demacia are at war. King Jarvan III is king at this time. And Noxus, to build up its ranks, literally buys the people from the Reckoner's arena and puts them into the army. And we don't see that place that they talk about. What's it called? Coastal Fortress of Kalstedt. I really looked for it. I don't see a Kalstedt on here. So there's like Kilgrove. We know that is. There's no Kalstedt. So it's somewhere over here. War, he discovered, was nothing like an arena duel. The conscripted reckoners were no match for the disciplined Demacian army. While many of his fellows deserted, Xin Zhao held his ground. When the king's dauntless vanguard, some of whom were silently impressed by his skill, finally surrounded him, still he refused to run. Xin Zhao stood tall, welcoming his execution. King Jarvan III, however, took no pleasure in needless killing. Impressed by the warrior's resolve, he offered the defeated Noxians their freedom. Stunned by this mercy, Xin Zhao saw a new path forward, a chance to fight for virtues he himself aspired to. The oath of loyalty. Brought before the king, Xin Zhao shared his life story. Instead of accepting the gold offered for his freedom, he made a single bold request: to join the King's Guard. The proposition was met with outrage, particularly from the sword captain Tiana Crown Guard. To prove his worth, Xin Zhao explained his motivation. I'd rather die fighting for honor than live out my days regretting what I never had that made that choice. When words were not enough, he demonstrated his capability in a stunning display of speed and skill, disarming the royal guards and holding the blunt end of his spear inches from King Jarvan III's throat. This was not a threat, but a demonstration born from a life where action spoke louder than words. In the arenas of Noxus, strength was the only language universally understood. Xin Zhao needed to prove to the king and the skeptical Demacians that he possessed the martial prowess worthy of a royal protector. It was the only way he knew to show he was not just capable, but that he also possessed the control and discipline to serve honorably, stopping his attack just short of causing harm. Rather than anger, the king saw the truth in his actions and accepted Xin Zhao into his service. Later, to assuage the way of Tiana Crown Guard, Xin Zhao made a solemn vow, holding her own blade to his throat. Take this as my oath to you. Should anything happen to the king, you may kill me. In the decades that followed, Xin Zhao proved his loyalty time and again, becoming a trusted advisor and bodyguard to both King Jarvan III and his son. His path was unusual, but his commitment to his adopted kingdom has never wavered. You can see the king of Demacia right there. You can see him training. He's training King Jarvan III. King Jarvan IV is right there. And that's Xin Zhao in Demacia doing some damage. And this cinematic actually continues. If we go here, they speak.
When they speak of the foundations of our kingdom, of what makes a true Demacian, they speak of you.
We're getting closer to like present time now, where he's leaving Demacia and going to Ionia. The Blossoms call home. Decades after pledging his loyalty to Demacia, a strange event occurs. A spirit blossom, a flower native only to Ionia, begins to grow in the royal gardens of the great city. Seeing this, King Jarvan IV insists that Xin Zhao's journey back to his homeland to discover the reason for this impossible bloom. After more than 30 years, the seneschal returns to the land of his birth, questioning his own identity. You can see him sailing away. Always in my dreams, I ask myself the same thing. So this is from the pilgrimage. Where do I belong? Whom do I serve? My name is Xin Zhao, and after more than 30 years, I return to the land of my birth. And you can see all that happening in pilgrimage.
Always in my dreams.
Any
I am
predictions?
forced to consider.
Any predictions story-wise for Act 3? I do have some predictions. We're going to get into it right when we get to the end of Xin Zhao's story, because it'll make more sense. There's the boat,
Who am
Viscero. Captured by the
Where
Noxians.
do I belong?
Fighting arenas. He's now Viscero. Serving
Whom
under
do
King
I
Jarvan.
serve?
Yeah, he brings the
We
Spirit
are
Blossom.
approaching the river. It's quite magnificent. Beautiful.
This is
But
so
like
important,
no
guys.
spirit blossom tree I've ever seen. Is it from your home province?
It's beautiful, but like no Spirit Blossom tree I've ever seen, there's something different about this Spirit Blossom tree.
Quailing, perhaps?
No, by his accent, surely down Sidaro way?
Much further. In fact, this little tree has brought me halfway across the world. It grew in the palace gardens of the great city of Demacia.
That's
That's impossible.
Spirit blossoms do not fall beyond the first lands.
And yet, there it is. As we sailed east, I heard many strange things. Whispers that magic is rising everywhere.
Keep in mind, this is after the events of Arcane. The Arcane is rising. Saying magic is rising is the same thing as saying the arcane is rising. It's just different terms to describe magic. So the arcane is waking up. Something changed after the events of Arcane that caused the magic and the thinning of the veil in Runeterra.
What if the blossoms are a sign of something more? A change?
Careful, traveler.
Ken, you silly Ordle, cutting people off.
Saying things like that could get you in a lot of trouble.
Saying things are changing could get you in a lot of trouble. Kenan's just such a problem. I'm telling you guys.
You are of the Kinku order?
Yunara's gonna hate him.
Indeed. And I am most curious to know why you have brought a weapon into this holy festival.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a stroll together? Xin Zhao of Rykon. The most impressive ceremonies take place after sunset.
Yeah. So the big thing that I really want to show you guys here is they learn of like the Shrine Maiden and stuff. By the way, freaking Kenan was around during the time of the Shrine Maiden, so he knows the fully accurate story.
That I had tended from seed, yet it flowered with the sacred blossoms of my distant homeland.
Yeah.
I could not, of sorts.
Kenan
A
guides
homecoming.
him, and then look at this.
Right. That all
Guys, he's planting the seed up here. And if you look just to the right, you can see like there's a little bit of the stone coming through.
things should return home.
You can see it, right? The top right there. There's like some stone there. It's not just sky that continues on. And he plants it. And it was unlike
Wherever That may be.
Any spirit blossom that they knew in Ionia, it was a little different. Something was off about this spirit blossom. Always in my dreams, I ask myself the same thing: who am I, where do I belong? Upon arriving in Ionia during the Spirit Blossom Festival, he meets Kennen of the Kinku Order, who possesses a critical question about the flower's origins. Does the flower come from the tree or from you, son of the First Lands? Xin Zhao resolves to plant the sapling in Ionia, hoping to find peace for both it and himself. This question right here is just so Kennen. Like, he's under the impression that blossoms cannot grow beyond Ionia, and he's going to stick to that. And so his response is that it's just growing from you. Like, it's just a result of you. So we have the tale of the Shrine Maiden. During his journey, Xin Zhao reflects on the Ionian legend of the devoted priestess, a tale he often thought of while in Demacia. The story speaks of a priestess who made a pact with a great spirit to end the war that ravaged her home. So she's talking about the Darken War.
Ah, this one. Do you know her tale?
The devoted Shrine Maiden. I've considered her often in my time among the Demacians.
The main thing is the Darken War is going on.
Peace often begets unrest.
They impersonate the Kanmi, who are good spirits, and cause chaos. Yunara goes and prays,
to save her village, Trinkanme of the Shrine.
but it turns out that Kanmi was also a Darken.
And wisdom.
They ally with each other, defeat all the Darken, and then, yeah.
I had hoped when this was done, I could overcome my nature. Alas, if your enemies are mine, then I am an enemy of all, and must leave this realm.
So they go to the spirit realm.
No.
She joins him.
The Shrine Maiden refused to abandon the Great Spirit, instead choosing to join him in exile.
What does she do while she's there? This is really important. I'm gonna pause here.
Contemplating the cost of her devotion.
Okay. Yunara's living right here on this rock formation. You can see the tree right there. And remember, it's an inversion of the spirit of the material realm. That's how the spirit realm works. It's not the material realm, it's like an inverted image of it, like distorted almost. So these are really pieces of Ionia in the spirit realm. That's what I think. So this is like a floating rock, but if you go to Ionia, it'll be like the top, this piece of the mountain is broken off. She's living here, and then to the left, we see another floating rock, and you can see an outline of like a cave almost, right? That's the temple. The temple is where another tree is in there that's holding the Darken, because we never see the Darken over here. He's not just walking around. She imprisoned him within a Darken weapon, same as all the other Darken were imprisoned at that point. By the end of the Darken War, the spirits had, the aspects of Targon had already taught the mortals how to imprison the Darken within their weapons. So Yunara probably knew how to do this. They go to the spirit realm. She imprisons him in his mortal weapon, in the glaive, and then puts it within a spirit blossom tree in this temple on the left side. Okay, and that, keep in mind, like it looks like a mountain, right? It's like a piece of a mountain, a foreboding dream and a dark awakening. And remember, at this point, Xin Zhao has already planted the spirit blossom in Ionia, a spirit blossom, which I'm gonna pause this here because I really want you guys to keep this in mind. Beautiful, but like no spirit blossom tree I've ever seen. Something was different about this spirit blossom. Xin Zhao is plagued by a terrible nightmare. He sees flashes of a forgotten temple and a darkened glaive being claimed. That's the temple right here. This darkened temple right here. The dream culminates in a horrific vision of the Hall of Valor in Demacia, destroyed and littered with the dead. At the foot of the king's throne stand two darkened figures, one resembling Garen and the other King Jarvan IV himself. So it's still a dream, so there is some stuff that's different. Like that's more tailored to Xin Zhao. That's what I'm... Like it's a dream, and it's showing him something that's going to happen, but at the same time it ties in Demacia, not because Demacia has anything to do with it, but because Demacia is his home, and those are people that he like holds closely, Garen and Jarvan IV. You know what I mean? Like a dream isn't 100% accurate. It's not like a memory. It's kind of twisted a little bit by your own stuff. You know, it's like if his dream's trying to get you scared, fiddlesticks, right? He'll create a clown if you're scared of clowns. Someone else, same dream, instead of a clown, it's a velociraptor, because that's what they're scared of. That's what I mean by that's why it's showing Demacia here. And this is the Hall of Valor. You can see how it looks in Demacia today. It's where fallen Demacian warriors are remembered for their sacrifice. Now it shows both the Hall of Valor and the temple, but they're two separate parts of this dream. It's not the same place. Let's play this. I'll pause it right there. Guys, I pause a lot, so this is never the best way to watch cinematics, by the way. If you want to watch the original cinematic and then come back here, these do get posted on YouTube. But you can see in the middle, this spirit blossom tree is in a temple of sorts, and you could see the darkened glaive right there in the middle. It's kind of like a stick that's sticking out. It doesn't really fit there, right? It's of wood almost that's just standing up. Right here, where we are inside of this darkened temple. Here, right here, the Tale of the Shrine Maiden, that temple on the left side, that's where we are. We're inside of that temple, and you can see it's filling up with black ooze. The black ooze you can see in all the time with Atakan. If you go back to any of the LeBlanc cinematics, look at that black ooze, that's Atakan. This is when they're talking about their plan. They learned that the darkened glaive is in Ionia. And all this black ooze, I love when he freaking spits on her too, but yeah. Free me, witch. But yeah, anytime you see that black ooze, that's Atakan. And then we go back here, you can see the black ooze filling the pool. It's just slowly filling up. And then he has these visions of Demacia. You can see like a dead Silverwing there. Those are very common in Demacia. The visions of Demacia are like his dream, his visions of like his fear for the future kind of seeping in to what the dream is foreshadowing, which is the temple itself. Silverwing destroyed, Demacian cloaks everywhere. For those who don't know what a Silverwing is, probably should have said that. These are Silverwings in Demacia. Demacian raptors, they ride on them. I'm definitely going to fix that for the next stream where it goes to the top every time. You can see the blue cloaks. This is clearly the Hall of Valor where King Jarvan would be. The pool is filling up more and more. Two Darkens standing at the seat of the throne. One's in the form of Garen, the other one's from King Jarvan the fourth, at this point. Getting closer and closer to the staff. And then finally you see Atakan's hand literally grab the darkened glaive. And then boom, a huge plop goes on the seat. The Darkens turn around, and you can see Atakan behind the throne. And he wakes up. Horrified. Horrified. The nightmare seems to be a premonition in the very spot where Xin Zhao planted the Spirit Blossom sapling from Demacia. The ancient temple of the priestess Yunara is violently pulled from the spirit realm into the material world, bringing with it a powerful darkened glaive. So I want to change this to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about, where he plants this. You can see again, like there's a little bit of a rock formation at the top right, and then there's the rock formation in the middle, and he's planting it, and you can see these steps going up. Endgrove, what's up? Yeah, I'm good. Mord coming back. Mordekaiser? Oh yeah, I already had that. We went through that whole theory already. If you want to, you can like view the article here, the lie. But it is going to go up on YouTube probably later today. Or tomorrow, we'll see which one's going to go live today or tomorrow. Dude's getting rage baited hard by LeBlanc, possibly, yes. Goading him to fight Atakan in order to wield the glaives, accomplishing LeBlanc's goal. Ooh, individual. You on to something. LeBlanc's goal to finding a host for it. Yes, they are getting, exactly. That's my theory as well, that Xin Zhao and Yunara are really getting played and goaded into fighting Atakan. And it's all a part, this has all been a part of LeBlanc's plan, which is crazy. Even this Spirit Blossom has been a part of LeBlanc's plan. But like, look at this stairs. Look at the rock formation. Then look at Yunara's temple here. It's like a piece of a mountain that's carved out. And then we go here. Actually, you know what? I could show you even one that shows it even clearer. What's it called? I always forget the name of this one. I'm just going to go to the League of Legends channel. Sorry. Not Legends of Runeterra. Oh, that is my favorite game. It's this one. This one. Here tomorrow. So towards the end of it, you can see him. He's walking up these steps. Look here. This is that same rock formation again. You can see the stairs leading up to nothing, and you can see the rock formation. It's the same rock formation that we see in the Spirit Blossom Beyond Pilgrimage. Same spot. Same spot. He's planting the Spirit Blossom there. And look how it just so happens, like, he's walking up there, probably holding the Spirit Blossom tree. And this Spirit Blossom floats out away from Yunara and lands there. Yunara is standing right there and he doesn't see her because she's in the spirit realm. And that maybe is what encourages him to plant the Spirit Blossom in that location. Like he was almost getting led there in a lot of ways. The Spirit Blossom had to be there. Why though? Well, after the Spirit Blossom is planted, we can see, again, let me pause it right there. Look at the stairs, guys. The stairs going up to this little spot, the rock formation being curved at the top. This is the exact spot from the spirit realm where Yunara's temple is located. He plants the spirit blossom there. And what happens? What's the result of this corrupted spirit blossom, which is different than the spirit blossom ever in Ionia? There's her temple. You just saw it. That's her temple floating in the spirit realm. I don't think it was intentional to bring Yunara into the material realm, but she just so happened to be... Actually, is that her home right there on the left? No, I don't think so. I'm going to go with what I was saying before. Maybe. It's possible. If you look at the bottom left, you can see like little lights flashing between Yunara's home and the temple. Let me see if you can see it here. Do you see Yunara's home here? Oh yeah, it's right there on the left. Yeah, it's right there on the left. Okay, I thought that it wasn't intentional bringing Yunara into the material realm and that it was just like she happened to be in the temple at the time when it was transported to the material realm. But it's possible that she just was attached to that rock formation in the spirit realm. And so you couldn't pull one without the other. But you can see Yunara's home right there with the spirit blossom tree in the bottom left. And then there's the temple. So, I mean, you guys remember that, right? Right here. Here's the spirit realm. You can see Yunara's home on the right side and the temple on the left. And then this is them getting transported into the material realm, the exact spot where he planted the spirit blossom. And look in the middle, you can see like that little glow. That's probably Yunara right there. He's fighting in Azakana, and you can see Yunara, that little flash at the top. That's her, like, she realized that she's in the material realm and she rushes down to save Xin Zhao. So awesome. And at this point, they really feel like the heroes of the story. They really do. Like, the heroes of the story right now are Xin Zhao and Yunara, now LeBlanc's machinations. It is revealed that these events may have been orchestrated by LeBlanc and the Black Rose. Her words suggest that Xin Zhao's journey was not a quest for answers, but a crucial step in her own grand design. Listen to these lines especially. Your course was doomed the moment you left Demacia. Yunara says, I will seal you away once more, and Xin Zhao says, your age is past dark and stay buried. This is the most recent.
The blossoms fall.
The blossoms fall.
The Black Rose rises.
Look at this. She's showing you. You see the spirit blossoms. They look pink and pretty. Very nice, like regular spirit blossoms. And they quickly shift to red.
The blossoms
and the whole
fall.
area shifts to red. That's more to show that that spirit blossom tree that he brought from Ionia was definitely corrupted, but he couldn't see. No one could see underneath what that spirit blossom tree really was. It wasn't a regular spirit blossom. LeBlanc had corrupted it, and it had the ability to pull Yunara's temple. The blossoms fall and the Black Rose rises. At the end of the Spirit Blossom Festival, which the Spirit Blossoms have been going on for a while, and the Spirit Blossoms are falling, but the Black Rose is rising from it. It's good for the Black Rose, the thinning of the veil.
Like the heroes of this story.
They do. Yunara and Xin
Coming
Zhao.
to save the day.
Yeah.
You're pawns in a game that's already been decided.
You're pawns in a game that's already been decided. Calling them pawns implies that everything that we've seen up to this point has all gone according to LeBlanc's plan, and these are just pawns that she's playing with. Xin Zhao going from Demacia all the way to Ionia to plant the Spirit Blossom in that exact spot is all a part of LeBlanc's plan.
You will fight.
You will fight. They have to fight something. She says, you will fight as good soldiers do. She's expecting Yunara and Xin Zhao to fight.
As good soldiers do.
Who are they fighting?
I will seal you away once more.
I will seal you away once more. She's talking, who did Yunara seal away? There's only one character that Yunara could have sealed away, and that's the Darkin that she left with to the spirit realm. That Darkin that she was allies with, that she sealed in the glaive. That's the only Darkin she's ever sealed. So saying, I will seal you away once more is definitely saying she's saying that to the Darkin that she had already sealed in the spirit realm.
Your age has passed, Darkin. Stay buried.
Your age has passed, Darkin. Stay buried is just a reference to the Darkin War was a long time ago. And Xin Zhao saying, like, your time is done. Stay buried. Stay within your weapons and buried throughout the world, which is what really the Celestials did, which was the stupidest thing you could have done. I could get into that theory. Man, Celestials caused so many problems for us. So many problems.
And you will fail, as mortals must.
So they must fight and they must fail. Now, that doesn't mean they'll lose the battle. That just means that they'll fail what their real goal is, which is to stop LeBlanc. Not realizing that, but yeah.
Your course was doomed the moment you left Demacia.
The moment you left Demacia, your course was doomed. If that's not obvious that Xin Zhao leaving Demacia was literally part of LeBlanc's plan. I don't know what is. They literally tell you exactly what the lore is. It's not like they hide it from you. Interesting how the transition is of LeBlanc's wall of markings, hinting that she's actually just chilling in Noxus as all this is going on. What? Let me see that. Oh, you're right. That is what we've seen a lot for LeBlanc when we're looking at her through the wall in Noxus. Where's that cinematic? It's the root of an empire, I think. Yeah, very similar. Very similar. We're looking at LeBlanc.
Noxus, a name whispered in
like her reflection in the wall. It's always looked at through that perspective. Then there's the other one, a Dark Gambit. We also start within the wall. No, not Dark Gambit. There's another one. I know there's another one. There's the one before the one that's clearer. Yeah, I know. I don't know the name.
Must. Marcia.
You failed the moment you left Demacia. So a part of her plan.
Behold my power! And entered my world.
Look at that black rose.
And entered my world of thorns.
So that's what she calls. Her world of thorns is what she calls the world that she creates with the illusions and the lies and the deceit. Welcome to Noxus bite marks. I think that you're right. Welcome to Noxus. I think that you're right.
Noxus is where the strong gather. It seeks the fearless and defiant.
Yeah. Anyways, a lot of times you're looking at her through this wall. I think there's another. Yeah, right here. This is what I was talking about. Yeah, you're right. There it is. Thanks, Luffy. Yeah, we come through the wall, and there's LeBlanc. Guys, it's it's tied together so well. This is some of the best lore storytelling ever in the history of League of Legends.
Make your final stand. And see how your story ends.
Make your final stand and see how your story ends. Who's their final stand against? Atakan. Yeah, I wanted to see if there's anything else there that I missed with Atakan. But yeah, see how your story ends. And this is so important, guys. This is literally Lysandra and the Void, which you got to remember that all the Darken, any Darken that you ever see in the game are very heavily tied to the Void. Guys, whenever you're talking about Darken, you got to keep in mind that you're talking about the Void. The Void is what resulted in the Darken being formed to begin with. So Lysandra having a Void-themed skin is definitely showing that maybe after we're dealing with this Darken threat, what comes next is the Void threat. So what I think is going to happen in Act 3 is that Xin Zhao and Yunara are going to fight Atakan. They are going to think that they're battling to stop whatever's happening. And then LeBlanc is still going to obtain the Darken weapon. Now, the question is, who's going to be the host of this Darken weapon? In the dream, right, for Xin Zhao, we see that Atakan grabs the weapon. Now, do I think Atakan is going to be the host? I'm not really sure. I feel like no, because, I mean, how powerful does the host of Katash Lee have to be? If he's going to have... Katash Lee is the host for Atakan right now. If you put Atakan with Katash Lee, then you put Katash Lee... Oh... Unless there's one thing that could be possible. So Mordekaiser is the one that fused Atakan with Katash Lee. We know that for sure. If we go back to, where's that comic? Oh, Bringer of Ruin. Bringer of Ruin. Thank you. Hey, what up, Dweller? Okay, power is, it's useless. Okay. What matters is how it's wielded. That actually really ties well. The power in and of itself is useless. What matters is how it is wielded. Like who controls the power. That's what's really more important. Katash Lee, renowned general in a great army. His strength was formidable, but it was all in service of his lord, Xin Zhao, the unconquering hero. Isn't that Lysandra at the end? Yeah, it is. It's definitely teasing what's to come, which is the Void, which the Void is the result. The Darken would not exist without the Void. The new Flora Fettle's skin line, yeah. I mean, it's obviously Void for sure. If you go to like the Belveth cinematic, you can see, if we go to Belveth cinematic, and then I'll get back to the Katash Lee part. Like those butterflies, obviously. Yeah. We've seen these butterflies before. Yeah, and maybe we'll add Belveth to the Monday lore talk because we should talk about her. And that'll tie in with the Void. It could have the most development and stories. Yeah. Xin Zhao, the unconquered hero. Violence often attracts more violence, and the scent of death is a powerful draw. Xin Zhao kept no friends. There were only those he could use. Sha, and those he destroyed. So they almost die. All demons are the same in Runeterra. They lie. They defy. They hunger. Which is true. And they should not be underestimated. Katash Li's devotion to his leader was unquestionable. Still, he was only human. Xin Zhao was not one for sentiment. And yet, he would not let this life go easily. This is where he fuses Katash Li with Atakan. Using arcane scrolls seized from his conquests, Xin Zhao found one way to thwart death. A binding. The cost of which would not be his doom. United in one monster's body, Katash Li and Atakan's existence became one of horror and violence. Xin Zhao's conquest only hastened. Okay, that's all I really wanted to show you, because what I'm thinking is going to happen here is that perhaps, what if this is Atakan's hand grabbing, right, the glaive, but what if it's not Atakan anymore? Through a demon's hand, she's able to control Atakan through the man by playing a demon's hand. Memories of 100 lifetimes, vision of the spirit realm, all warring for relevancy. But she needs the demon. What if she's able to unbind them, and then she has Xin Zhao pick up the glaive and become the Darkin in the glaive, and she's able to wield the Darkin using Xin Zhao, and then she just frees Atakan. You know, that's assuming that she actually does fulfill her end of the bargain. If you want your freedom, you will reveal to me the location of the Darkin weapon. Maybe she really is going to give him his freedom. Maybe not in the way Atakan envisions it. Maybe Atakan might be dead by the end of this. Who knows? We'll see. LeBlanc's not one for relinquishing her toys, for sure. But she tells him, if you want your freedom, you reveal to me the location of the Darkin weapon. Perhaps she's going to separate Katash Li from Atakan. Use Katash Li to take control of the Darkin in the glaive, and then potentially free Atakan. Freeing Atakan as a result. Yeah, that's what I think. I really think that LeBlanc may free Atakan and use Xin Zhao, or use, I keep saying Xin Zhao, use Katash Li to control the Darkin. Thing is, I doubt they'll interfere too much with a named champion, which is why I think Katash Li is going to be the one to wield it, becoming a new champion. Yeah, I think Katash Li picking up the weapon and becoming his own champion would be really cool, especially if the Riot MMO ever comes out. If it ever comes out, having Katash Li more in control rather than like Atakan, which is kind of more demon than man. Well, with Darkin, in some cases, like Varys, right? If the will is strong enough, like if you go to Varys literally almost looks like a man, because the humans are, I think Varys is the weakest Darkin. You can see Varys is like fused with two guys. What are their names? These are two like Ionian hunters that he fused with. But yeah, he's like almost a human, because he's kind of been reminded of his humanity by these two guys, Valmar and Kai. Thank you. Yeah, if you guys wonder what I'm streaming on multiple platforms, that's why you guys don't see all the messages. But yeah, thank you for that. Valmar and Kai. He's fused with them, and that's why he almost looks human. So if Katash Li ends up like kind of controlling the Darkin a little bit more, then we could see his character really flesh out. And then especially if Mordekaiser ever returns in the Riot MMO for an expansion titled Mitnaraknun, then we can see that interaction. He's too cool of a character to just leave as Atakan.